Just handed you a transcript of the interview you gave police. One of the interviews, yesterday you said you did remember bruising Star on June the 19th, and yesterday you said you commented.
I can't remember having that conversation.
I'm repeating your evidence from yesterday.
Which part?
You were asked if you knew anything about bruising to Star. You said no, correct?
Yes.
Police asked if you remember any bruising to Star's face. You said no.
Correct.
So you did answer questions to police. You didn't no comment.
In relation to Star, I answered. I no commented in relation to Frankie.
This is the material. The jury can make of it what they want. Before we move on, just a few questions about your relationship with Smith. You say you were not aggressively possessive of Smith.
Yes.
You were shown some material you put on the web yesterday.
That me and Frankie put on, yes.
A couple more videos, her, from May the 17th, 2020.
The videos are being played.
Was that designed to be intimidating to people?
It was requested of me from Frankie.
She asked you to do it.
I recorded it on her Snapchat and she put it on.
What you say here, I'm a psycho, I'll put you in a chair for the rest of your life. This is truthful?
Yes.
It's pretty intimidatory stuff. Is that a pretty sinister smile?
It's just a smile.
Threatening to destroy people's kneecaps if they message Smith.
If they kept threatening her, yes.
You meant it?
Yes.
Another video is played. Brockhill says she's with the #1 psycho and then grins.
What does that mean?
It's a figure of speech.
What does it mean?
That I'm protective of Frankie. I'll do what I said to protect her.
Use physical violence if anyone approaches her?
If they threatened her.
You said if you look wrongly at my girlfriend, you'll put them in a wheelchair for life.
A figure of speech.
Another video is played now. It shows the fight scene from the film Sherlock Holmes, starring Robert Downey Jr., about how half of you are going to end up over Frankie, with laughing faces.
You'll knock them out?
No.
That's someone being battered.
No, it's two men fighting.
One ends up on the floor following a series of heavy blows.
If you want to put it in those terms.
If someone looked at your girlfriend.
No, if they hurt Frankie.
You said in messages here in the timeline, you said you meant you'd stab someone tonight. You meant that?
No, it's an emotion. I wouldn't have literally stabbed someone.
You said, I'll go to your mum's after here. I'm not having it. I don't care about kids in the house. I'll rage effing it. They'll have to have police take me away.
Yes.
You went to the house, yes?
I did.
You knew there would be children there.
Yes.
It's where Smith was living. You went to have it out with her.
Yes.
Going to the house with children and weren't remotely bothered. As you say, you will rage.
Yes.
Did it ever occur the damage you might do to young minds by raging?
Not in that moment, no, Mr. MacDonald.
You do have violent tendencies, don't you?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, I'll move on. You went on to talk about having to have the police to take you away and needing help. Were you out of control? Can you be out of control?
No.
You were going to tell us what you meant when you spoke to your friend about the incident with Star and the chair and food.
When Star was filmed falling off a chair and falling asleep in a bowl of food.
Yes.
A video was sent of Star falling asleep on the floor and you shouting to wake up. You sent this video to your friend.
Yes.
The video is now being played in court. Star is falling asleep on the floor. Brockhill shouts, "Star, wake, get up quick, come on."
Who filmed that? Who's shouting?
Me.
Star was completely and utterly exhausted.
She was tired.
Do you want to see that video again?
I can do if you want.
The video plays again.
Why were you doing that? Shouting at her in that way, when she's in that condition?
I was talking to her, telling her to get up. I wasn't allowing her to go to sleep on the floor.
Did it matter where she slept because the floor would be uncomfortable?
Yes.
Why didn't you take her to bed?
I'd already tried several times.
Why did you film it?
To show everyone what she was like if she didn't have a nap. I was meant to be the bad one to Frankie's family for making her have a nap through the day.
You make it sound like it was deliberate by her, defying you by not going to sleep at the appointed time under your regime.
Yes, she refused to go to bed. She kept getting out.
How old was she?
About 14 months?
Because she didn't abide by your timetable. You made sure she was going to suffer.
No, I made sure she would sleep that night. If she'd napped, then she wouldn't have gone to sleep that night. I said that in the text.
Did you ever think what damage might be done by depriving her of sleep?
No, there was no damage. She was fed and watered. I don't know what you mean by damage.
What time was this video taken?
Before 1 p.m.
Your intention was she stayed awake until her bedtime of 7 p.m.
Her bedtime was 6 p.m. that day, but Frankie put her down earlier.
How much longer was she meant to stay awake?
5 hours?
5 hours? Let's move on, shall we? July the 17th, 2020.
A photo of Star is shown on the screen. A small bruise is visible by her right eye.
You see that bruise?
Yes.
We've got other photos showing the same mark that you've seen.
Yes.
Do you know how that was caused?
Frankie said by the bed.
Star falling or hitting her head on part of the bed. So let's go to July the 20th. You had Star at the time on your own. The first time you had her on your own.
I think it was, yes.
We saw you left with Star at 6 p.m. carrying her. In the video, do you agree it's difficult to see that mark on her face?
No, I pointed it out.
There's no other damage to her face in that video.
No, I believe there is discoloration to her cheek.
You left just after 6 p.m. Then at 6:48 p.m. you were searching for what takes bruises and swellings down.
Correct?
What takes bruises away quickly.
Yes.
You were on your way to work.
Yes.
Then you sent a photo of Star to your friend. That is a completely different look to Star's face then, when you carried her down the stairs. Do you accept that is demonstrable of a nasty injury to her right cheek?
It is, yes.
Very worrying. Did you think that at the time?
Yes.
That photo is horrid. Complex mark on her cheek and then a line mark on her chin and some other lines.
It looks like that, but I think it's just the way the photo was taken.
Oh, is it? Then we see the bruising on her eye. Is that the same one we'd seen on the last photo from the 17th?
It is, yes.
So you want us to believe that bruising came out in that 42 minutes?
It came out when I put the cold on it.
That happened much later and we'll come on to that. But the bruising came out in the 40 minutes gap. Very minor, not visible. Discoloration to this mark in 42 minutes.
Yes.
Dr. Johnson said this was caused by a slap or punches. Did you think that?
I thought she'd been slapped, yes.
You picked her up from
Frankie.
Did you not think this looks like Smith has slapped Star really hard in her face and this is a really serious matter?
I thought it was very concerning, yes.
This is July, a time you knew Smith was getting drunk a lot and leaving Star with other girls.
Yes.
You'd had enough of that and the mood swings.
You could say so.
Not could say, you did say.
Yes.
A number of social service referrals were made by concerned people by this point.
Yes.
Smith said these referrals were malicious. Did you not think they might have a point?
No.
You thought Star needed to see a doctor.
I didn't.
You didn't? You didn't know the underlying damage that could have caused. What medical attention did you assist after seeing this?
I put cold on it.
You searched how to make it disappear quickly.
Yes.
Your friend's response, my God.
And I replied, I'm devastated.
So devastated you didn't seek medical help.
No.
It was shocking, wasn't it?
It wasn't just her I spoke to about it. I spoke to Frankie's family.
You searched if butter helps get rid of bruising.
My cousin recommended it.
You sent Becky Endicott the photo too, your ex-partner.
I sent it to a few people.
You sent it to a few people, but not Smith.
Yes, on FaceTime.
On FaceTime, point out to me where the FaceTime call was on the timeline.
You have not put it in there.
You said you FaceTimed Smith and showed her this photo, and you're saying the prosecution have deliberately not included this in the agreed timeline.
Not put it in there. And other phone calls.
You have a distinguished Queen's Counsel assisting you throughout this case. Where is the FaceTime? Is it not there in any of the records? Why not?
It should be there, that's my answer.
I won't take that any further.
Was Smith right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
The bruise is to Star's right cheek in the photo.
The evidence conclusively proves you didn't send the photo to Smith.
Yes.
It also conclusively shows you didn't FaceTime her.
Yes, I did.
You've made up a lie saying that you FaceTimed Smith.
No.
You went to Lidl, a transaction.
Yes, the butter and some more frozen peas. The first bag was going warm.
Was that the first bag of peas you bought?
No, it was the first purchase on my Apple ID.
And then we reach a time you made this video.
The video is played, it shows Brockhill holding Star. Star is wearing only a nappy. A large red mark is visible on Star's right cheek.
That gives a clear view of the bruising, how extensive it is.
Correct.
Also some bruising to Star's body.
No, they're just red marks.
Let's keep watching. That's a huge mark on her cheek, all the way from her hairline down to the bottom of her cheek.
Correct.
Those are marks on her body, look.
Yes, little red marks.
Star is looking at the floor for most of the video.
Then you were feeding her chocolate.
Yes.
You filmed that. Why?
I sent it to my friend and other people.
I didn't ask that. I asked the purpose of it.
To show the bruising.
Why? What good could they do? Are they qualified doctors?
I was speaking to them to see how they thought it had happened, their opinions and advice.
Where's the message asking that?
It's not in the timeline again.
So that's the fault of the prosecution again, and your team.
Yes.
Was that the only reason you took the video? Concern?
Yes.
Then we have a search. Does toothpaste take away bruising? Did you send that video to Smith?
No.
Why not? She's that child's mother. You didn't even contact the person you thought may have caused it.
I texted her, I asked her.
Where is it?
We saw it in the messages to my friend, but it's not in the timeline again.
Then you had a flaming row with Smith.
Yes, I believe it was about 7:30 p.m. when I messaged her.
In that row, which we have heard, you spent most of it putting to her. She said she was going out with a friend, but she was lying to you.
Yes.
That was most of the conversation from you. She kept saying, "You've got the baby, what more do you want?"
Yes.
Did you know she would be drunk?
Yes, she texted me how drunk she was.
You went on and on and on at her about being out. She was getting more and more upset you had the baby.
No, not about that. About that I refused to take Star back.
That's what upset her. You knew how to press her buttons.
I would agree, we knew how to press each other's buttons.
She got more and more frantic when you said you wouldn't bring Star back. You said you'd take her to Timbuktu.
Correct.
You didn't want to take Star back. You pushed her further and further and then said she wasn't fit to have her back.
I said she was too drunk to have her back.
Why were you so keen to keep Star? I suggest it's because you had damaged Star. You'd given her that bruise.
That's not correct. I wanted to take her to Jade Smith. If I'd caused that, I wouldn't have said that.
That's why we had all these searches. Butter, toothpaste, witch hazel. This was to get rid of the bruises you caused. And you pushed Smith's button so much knowing she was drunk and she would get upset.
No, I had spoke to her before she was drunk.
Why did you record it?
I have a recording device on my phone.
There were calls before. Why did you not record them?
There were calls before this. I'm glad you brought that up.
Why did you record these calls?
Because Frankie was acting like a lunatic.
You recorded this because she was being a lunatic.
Yes, from previous calls.
You recorded it to show her upset and show how reasonable you were.
No.
Recordings can work both ways. There was discussions about putting the baby's head underwater.
Yes, I brought that up.
Brockhill smirks towards the public gallery during a brief pause.
Smith says she'll run you a bath and put your head underwater. You say she does it to Star. Are you saying Smith used to put Star's head underwater in the bath?
Yes, she told me she had.
When did she tell you that?
Prior to this.
Oh yes, it must have been. You had a pretty worrying dossier of what was happening to this baby. She'd come to you with a great big bruise on her cheek. You knew Smith was neglecting Star and going out getting drunk when she should have been looking after Star. You seen physical injuries and you knew Smith was putting her head underwater in the bath.
Yes.
What did you do about that?
Told her not to.
Did you tell anyone else?
No.
Were you really concerned for Star? Did you really love her to bits?
Yes.
Did you think what was happening to Star was terrible?
Yes, if she held her long enough, she could drown her.
What did you do to protect her?
I brought her with me when I could.
Well, I suggest you took Star to let Smith have a weekend off drinking and socializing.
That's correct, yes.
Stuck in a car at a recycling plant in Doncaster.
Yes.
Smith said Star hated being bathed. Did she hate it?
Yes.
Did you understand why that is?
Some babies don't like water.
Do you think it made her want to be bathed if she was having her head put underwater?
No.
You said, well, you do it, not you've told me you do it, as if you've seen it.
No, she told me about it.
She said you did, not me. She's accusing you of doing it.
Then I said, you do, put that baby underwater, and she said, yes, she does.
Then Smith asks who does it for longer.
I believe she's saying, I'll do you for longer.
You do it for longer.
I believe she's saying she'll do my for longer.
You both held Star's head under the water.
No, I did not.
That's why Star had bruising on her legs from thrashing out as her head was held underwater.
Star didn't have any bruises on her legs.